All right. Right. Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome to the Dark Girl Preference with Taesha Renee. It's another midnight meeting, and we are here for our highly anticipated book club where we don't just summarize a book, we want to experience it, you know? Get to know the characters, dig into their perspectives, and see images of ourselves and how they relate to our own life experiences and individual journeys, right? So let's dig in. Hello, hello, Iridescent, my girl, she is here. Veronica, hey, happy to see everyone. I hope you all have read that book. Can y'all put some vocabulary in the chat for me? Give me some words between 1 and 3 words of what was your experience with those first. I said 1 through 4, but when I looked at the book, I noticed that chapter 5 was where we got introduced to all 3 girls. So I hope y'all read chapter 5, because that way we got to at least meet all 3 girls, right? Let me get this stuff out the way. I got tons of notes. Let me get centered here. All right. Computer down. We ghetto. Wow. Right. You read it in 4 hours? The whole book, Veronica? Oh my goodness. No spoilers. No spoilers. You got to take it slow with the rest of us. Nakia says, wow. She said she's so far you forgot. Oh man. It's good so far. You read fast if it's good. Right. Yes. It was good. I'm glad I got to revisit this book. It was really, really good. I almost forgot how good it was. And I had to stop myself at 5. I had to stop. So we're going to go through, talk about each of the characters. Oh my gosh, chapter 15. Oh yeah, it is a page turner. It is a page turner. Okay, let's see here. Okay, in these first 4 chapters, we get to know our girls, starting with their family and their home life situations. We get a little history, right? So we have Goldie, we have Red, and we have Cha. So starting with Goldie. Goldie, she describes their group of she describes their group as high class with low class clothes, right? Fly by nature with knockout bodies, so whatever they wore looked good on them. So she's feeling herself. Gives us a little insight on who Goldie is. She tells us that they live in low income housing. They swipe EBT cars and get money from men and a little hustling here and there. So they're survivors. That's what I get from that. Survivors. All right. It says they're hood girls with too much pride to overcompensate for what they lacked in their lives. So they're very prideful. Prideful girls, right? And Goldie also says that Red can't let another chick upstage her. Red, as usual, was getting her ass whooped when she went to help her. Because of course we start out when they go to the Cat Williams presentation, and they met up with they saw another group of girls who thought they were fly. And of course, the battle of the flyest chick commences. And they get to talking back and forth. Cat Williams is adding his commentary to what's going on. It's hilarious to me. I remember laughing out loud when I first read this, like, wow, too much. And then we have Red, who can't fight, right? Red is biracial. She has a white racist mother. She's never met her father. And her father, that she knows, has another family. A lot of issues right there. Now, Red's mother. We could go on forever about Red's mother, right? Nutcase. Very bitter, racist, sadistic. I wish somebody had intervened on Red's behalf a long time ago. This was very disturbing. So about Red, we see that she's severely abused. Red was sad. Very, very, very sad. Yes, it was. It was heartbreaking. Red is biracial, white mother, racist mother. Never met her father. Her father has another family. She's severely abused. She's highly intelligent. And it seems like her mother was jealous of her intelligence or something because she kept telling her she wasn't that smart. She wasn't that special. Her mother calls her monkey, the N-word, jigaboo. She's punished by being put outside with Bo Peep, who was their dog. She puts her outside to punish her. It's the most awful thing for days at a time. Unimaginable horror. And I think this started when she was about 5. It was the first incident she described. She put her out there with Bo Peep all night. She was denied access to the bathroom. She usually wet herself. She dumped her food, would actually may go as far as to make her food and then dump it on the ground for the dog to just ravage through, which would leave Red eating the dog food. Right? And then she would wake her up with buckets of water, dump water on her, and laugh. It's just disgusting. So I do have some of the book here on my on the Audibles, and I'm just going to play a little part of that describes, highlighted the examples of Red's mother's abuse. Let's see if it'll play for me here.
You're a damn dog, nigger girl, munching on kibbles and bits. I dropped the dog food from my hands. And I brought you some dinner, but she bit her bottom lip like she was in serious thought. Since you like dog food so much, your ass can eat it and I'll give this to Bo Peep. I watched horrified as she poured out the food on the ground near Bo Peep. Then she walked back over to me and poured some from the bag of dog food on the ground next to my feet. Mommy. No, mommy, nothing. Your black ass needs to be humbled. You need to learn your place. That's beneath the whites. That's y'all problem anyway.
And that ends with her leaving her out there again. Just awful. It was her level of like abuse was just amazing to me. Amazing. You did write that down? Right. And that's the kind of reason I'm going through each girl and what their backstory was, because we want to hold on to those nuggets as we progress to the story, as it lends to their psyche, their mental state as they're growing up and experiencing life. It lends to that, like the type of abuse that they've been through. So then we move on to chapter 3. Chapter 3, Red gets a whole nother chapter, right? She just goes through entirely too much. So here we are in chapter 3, 13 years later. Red is now 17 years old. And she blames, she blames N-words for every malady possible. And in this chapter, a horrific, horrific crime happens. Oh, yes. Hello, Taesha. So you haven't started reading the book? Oh, no. Let's see here. Veronica, Red had a very severe trauma, mental abuse, and emotional abuse. Yes, severe. I'm surprised that nobody stepped in, but it seems like one of the clues to me was that this was just a society, a community of abuse, because enters DeAndre, right? Now, the neighbor's son, DeAndre, is mentally challenged. He appears to be either like autistic, or having Asperger's. It's really disturbing. And she's been sleeping with DeAndre. And to me, it seems, based on the way the story goes, maybe even intentionally sleeping with him to set this crime up. Of course, at this point, by 13 years later, at 17, she definitely hates her mother. There's no love there. Her mother has, after 13 years of that level of abuse, I'm surprised, Red didn't just run away or get away from her a long time ago. She would have fared better just running away and finding someone who truly cared about her, right? That was a lot to stay there in that. And then she would kind of like serve her mother hand and foot. Her mother literally treated her like a slave. Like a slave. It was, disturbing. You got that too? That the community, is that what you mean? The community was just a community of basically turning blind eyes to types of trauma. I believe Nakia as well. I think she had that planned. She planned that out with DeAndre. I think she had that planned. And let's see here. All right. So she's been sleeping with the mentally challenged DeAndre, who she said was nice looking. And that was just sad. And like after it happened, how he was like, I can leave now. Like, it was just awful, as if that's what he was used to. And these women in the community abusing him the same way. Like, where was his parents? Where was his parents in this? Were they aware? Because if she was aware, then everybody knew. And everybody is taking advantage of this child. And then a mentally challenged child at that. Oh, just disgusting. Unbelievable. But I can imagine that situations like this does happen in America. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all. But watching the news and stuff, like you see so many different stories of kids, and we never get the full stories because they're protected, and as they should be. But man, just horrible. So then we come to the part where she actually has the altercation with her mother, and she goes away. She goes to her room. Her mother's sick that particular day. She goes into her room and then commences to please herself. And DeAndre, did he come to the window? Do y'all remember? Did he come to the window or to the door? Did he just walk out? I think he came to the window or crawled through a window. And she just kind of threw back the covers and told him to come on. So he commences to engage with her. And after which she tells him to wait there in the room, to stay there. She leaves him there after he, deposits, after he dumps, goes into her mother's room. Her mother is weak and sick. Yeah, he's right. He's snuck in the window. Her mother is sick. And she covers her mother. She begins to suffocate her mother with a pillow. She suffocates her. And then after she suffocates the mom, she does even more horrific. The harm she does to herself to enact this crime was just mind-boggling. Just mind-boggling. I couldn't believe. She suffocates her mother, then beat her mother posthumous. She rips her hair out of her head. She takes a letter opener and stabs her mother in both eyes. Then she begins to beat herself. She scratches her face, her neck, and then she takes the hanger, impales herself with the hanger so that to make sure she's bleeding, causes till she bleeds. Then she calls 911 saying she'd been AR'd and that they had K'd her mother. And all the while, DeAndre is still sitting in her bedroom. Learning to Love Myself. No, we just read chapters 1 through 5, but I think all of us, except a few, have read past that. It's that good. Yes, iridescent. I believe so. calculated and psychotic. At this point, I believe because of the treatment of her mother, she's now a sociopath. That's what I believe. She's a sociopath at this to go that far. And but then it questions like, did she really? Depending on what happens to DeAndre, he might be in a better situation. He'll go to some type of mental. I'm thinking he'll go to a like mental health institute. Well, maybe he'll get the care that he actually needs. Who knows? But she set him up for that, and who knows how confused he could. I don't even think he could tell what happened to him. Yes, the rage she exhibited was crazy. Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was. But it's almost understandable. You almost want to root for her, but at the same time, gosh, and she was 17, so she was this close to being out of her mother's care anyway. It was like, why go through all that? Why do that? Why even do that? Right, so now we're going to move on to chapter 4. We meet Cha. We meet Cha at age 23, who then she gives us her backstory. At age 23, she looks back and tells us her story, basically. Cha was left in a dumpster as a baby and raised in a group home until the age of 18. She has a boyfriend, a drug-dealing boyfriend named Onyx. And she was AR'd in the group home by the boys that lived there, and also AR'd by the director himself of the group home. And so Onyx comes along, who seems to be a relatively good guy, who had just made some bad choices. He's a drug dealer. His plan is to basically save up and move them somewhere far away to start over and start a new life. R actually explained to her about consensual sex. He explained that to her, that it needed to be a consensual thing between two people. He explains this to her. So she had never had no concept of this until Onyx. Onyx put her onto that. And so they stayed together. Once she was released from the home, she stayed with Onyx for 2 years. At age 20, she had Omari, her son. Yeah, Child's story, it broke my heart too. It was, oh gosh. Oh gosh. So Veronica, did you finish the book? Because, oh man, this whole story. Yes, these ladies went through it. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. So according to Cha, Onyx was the sweetest, kindest man she'd ever known. He came home every night. He was involved, and he was an involved and consistent father. Even though he sold drugs to support the three of them, every Saturday he would make sure she had time to spend with her girls, dedicated time where he would be with his son and spend particular time with him, taking him to the park, and she would get to hang out with her girls. Okay, Veronica, you finished it. Yeah. And okay, you got to chapter 6. Okay, good, because we're at chapter 5. And so, in a sense, Onyx was just too perfect, right? He allowed her to rest in her femininity. She didn't have to work, but he thought the most of her. Because remember, there was a part where she said Onyx always thought she should go to college, and she was like, she couldn't believe that he thought that much of, thought she was that smart. And she didn't think she was. She didn't think she was that smart. And my heart just went out to him and her, and what he tried to do and elevate her. And I think over time, he would have convinced her to go to school. I think he would have helped her. Like I was just rooting for them, that whole situation. I wanted him to quit some drugs because she would have loved him anyway. She's only known bad, and you've been absolutely wonderful to her and treated her like a man should. And he loved his son. So Onyx was just too perfect, right? Onyx has his boys. His team was Big Rob, Cornbread, and Trigger. So, of course, one of their happy days, the boys pop up at the house. She's cleaning. I mean, she's finishing up cooking dinner. He's supposed to be in the living room playing with the son on the video game. And she looks up and his boys are in the house. So, of course, they then train her, run the train on her, and they put a few in the back of Onyx's head. She said basically that they riddled. All she could do was hold her son and scream. It was just awful, awful, awful. And the poor baby was just shaking and screaming and calling for the daddy. It was just awful, 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 awful visual. I just couldn't imagine. And then right in front of her son, they did that to her. They AR'd her. Awful. So now with this little boy, we're going to create another monster. He saw the most horrible thing. His father murdered, and then his mother ran the train on in that fashion. And then with chapter 5, yes. One of the guys was the son's godfather. Who was that? I think it was who was the godfather? Was it I want to say was it Big Rob? Big Rob was the godfather, and he act like Trigger was the godfather, and he act like he just had no regard, like he just for that boy, and the boy was just looking at him for little Omari like he was crazy. Like he was just. I just felt like that little boy was just so confused as to what was going on. He was just horrified, and she remembers her son's body just shaking. I've seen that. Like when my son was young, he was terrified of dogs, right? And if you've ever seen a child shake in fear, it'll break your heart. And that wasn't even something that was horribly traumatizing, right? He just saw a dog and the dog was running toward us, but the dog was playing. And I remember my son screaming, and I remember he couldn't run. He just stood there and his little body went rigid and he was just shaking. He was so terrified. And I remember being just so caught off guard by him being so terrified, just grabbing him and pulling him to me like, oh my God, how terrified he was. It broke my heart over a dog that didn't mean him no harm. I can imagine seeing someone that you respected and love just do that to the man you love the most and your mother. And to see your mother just stricken like that, it was just awful. He did not care. I mean, these were soulless, and they had planned it. It seemed like they were getting jealous because he had the presence of mind to be saving his money and putting up. I think Onyx talked too much. He shouldn't have been telling them about his plans. He should have disappeared. He should have never told them that he was leaving and said anything about it. He should have never told. He should have kept that to himself. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. That is awful. I just understand people, to use people that way. They stick up under you and just to waiting for the moment where if they can't use you no more, then you're just disposable. Because that's all it was. They weren't going to be able to use Onyx no more or be protective, because he seemed like he was pretty smart. He probably ran the operation and made sure they were all protected and safe until he could get out of there, but he shouldn't have told them. He should have kept it to himself, protected his family, and just disappeared on him. Just disappeared. But I guess he loved him. He made the guy his son's godfather, so I can imagine the type of love he must have had for them. Oh, it's just the most awful thing. I just can't imagine someone turning on you like that. And that's the one thing I fear for my sons. Like, you want to raise them to be kind and be good, but not too much so, right? You don't want them to just not be aware of how evil some people can be and how far they will go out of something, right? Out of simple jealousy or envy, or disillusionment with themselves, but they're just not capable of. They can't do what you can do, so they're going to make your life as miserable as possible or even take your life. Right. Just because they knew he was going on to better. And that's typical. Even it's sad to say, it's typical in our community for that attitude to be prevalent. People don't want to, like crabs in a barrel. They don't want to see you do better. They don't. They don't want to know about that. If they can't have a piece of it, then they don't want to see it for you. It's the sickest and saddest thing. Just sit. Just sit. Mm-mm-mm. So Chaw's story also, no. We get back to Goldie. That's why we went on to chapter 5. We started with Goldie, but she described the scenario of them going to see Cat Williams, but we didn't get much about herself. She just gave us a little rundown of the type of group they were, tight-knit group, who they were. But then we get to chapter 5, and we hear a little bit more about Goldie's story. Awful. So Goldie grew up a privileged life. Her father was a highway patrolman who he died when she was 6 years old. Her mother and father loved each other. And her mother was a professor at UCLA. So she grew up a privileged life. She then tells us the story of how she lost her mother. Her mother passed away when she was 12. And I shouldn't even say passed away. Her mother was murdered by a police officer who did not believe that they lived, pulled her over, first of all, under false pretenses that she was speeding, and she wasn't. And when she gave him she was actually going well under the speed limit, which he could have gave her a ticket for. She said she was going specifically 23 miles an hour. And he felt that, yes, girl, yes. Felt that she was being smart, getting smart with him. Well, of course she was. You pulled her over for no reason, first of all. And because he hates uppity nakers, he commences to fondle her. And she asks for a fee to be searched by a female officer, which makes him even madder. How dare she question his authority and who he was, her uppity self. He was so mad that he was wrong about her in the beginning. He had pegged her out to be nothing, racism at its finest. And then she gets out the car, after she gets out the car and he's following her, she tells Goldie to stay in the car. Of course, Goldie doesn't listen, but she has a stun gun. When she sees this man pull up her mother's skirt, her mother screaming and fighting off this officer. Right. He couldn't afford to live there. How dare they be able to afford to live there? Yes. How dare them, these uppity nakers, and he commences to try to attempt to her mother. She rushes at the officer, and her mother steps in between that, and shots ring out. So her mother is grappling with the gun. Her and the officer are fighting over the gun, and Goldie's kind of out the way, and her mother ends up being shot. And that's what happens with Goldie's mother. And she, of course, I believe then goes on. I don't think chapter 5 tells us after that what happens to Goldie after that. We have to wait till the next coming chapters. So let me ask this question. We read 5 chapters 1 through 5. Is that too little? Should we read more? That was the thing I was thinking about. Like it might have been just enough. So I didn't want to read ahead of you all because I'm still, I read this a long time ago, so I'm getting reacquainted with the story. So maybe read 10 chapters or 15, or how y'all want to do it? Because I felt like that it was hard to stop. Even rereading the story, it was still so good. It was fresh to me. It didn't feel old. It was still really, really good. It really got me involved. Karen Williams is an excellent writer, man. She knows how to paint a picture. She lets you know the characters. I think it's let me see. I think the Audible book, Audible says like 50 some chapters, but let me check. Okay. Oops. We have 49 chapters is what I'm seeing. So what y'all think? Like 15. So we stopped at 5. So that leaves 44 left. Oh, that would be good. Like 15 chapters. And y'all want to do it once a week? I'm telling you, because and the other thing is the chapters aren't huge chapters. They're not super long. The chapters are very long. So we could really, really easily in a week read 15 chapters. We really could. Yeah, we could do that too. Finish the book by the weekend. You think so? That's a lot though. That'd be a lot for me because I got so much stuff to do. Yeah, 15 a week is good. Okay. So this next week we will do chapter 5 to 20. We'll do that. 5 to 20. That way we get a lot more story in. But I thought this one through 5 was good, where we're just getting introduced to the girls and their backstory. That was really good. It just broke my heart. And like another part of the book that just broke my heart when read, like when she said, I pray, when she woke up outside with Bo Peep. My eyes passed over Bo Peep's sleeping form. He was knocked out. I prayed to God, even though Mama said he didn't answer Naker's prayers because we were the offspring of Satan and Antichrist. One day, as I was singing the hell out of His Eyes on the Sparrow, she told me, your soul is as black as you are. So I stopped believing in him. Like her mother caused her with her treatment. Right. Yeah, the whole book is about 4 hours. With her treatment, and then saying that like this young lady just lost faith in God, you know. And then another part with Red was like the next day I felt myself being carried. I didn't bother opening my eyes because I knew it was my mama. Maybe she had forgiven me for yesterday and was going to wash me up and let me get in my own bed finally. So I didn't bother opening my eyes or fussing. I was still half asleep when I felt her peeling my clothes off. My mama carried me to the tub. It felt good to have her holding me like that. That broke my heart. Like this evil woman, you still have some type of motherly affection for her, that it feels good that she's holding you like that. And how sick is this woman? Oh my God. It felt good to have her holding me like that. Maybe she really did love me. I loved her. She still, after all this, loved her mother. When my naked body started to burn, I screamed and popped my eyes open. Before I could move, my mother held me down in our tub. I was laying on a big trash bag that was inside on the tub, and she was pouring stuff on me. One I already knew how to spell was bleach. I knew what it was because it had a strong smell, and my mama cleaned with it. The other smelled really bad, and it started with AMO. Then she began pouring that one on me. Like what? And y'all know, right? And you've seen that, like maybe not to that extent, but how children, you know, how horrible their mother is, they still love their mama. And how many mothers take that for granted? Just take it for granted. It just broke my heart. So of course, you know, I worked in a hospital setting, and I remember one time there was an uncle that brought some kids in and said that their mother, I don't know if it was his sister or sister-in-law, was abusing them. And so he had grabbed the kids and took them out the house, brought them to the hospital. Apparently she had beat them. Right. And then tortured her after that. And then he brought them in. And I remember the nurse's aide that kind of like was like a nurse manager was telling some of the other nurses, like, hey, don't speak ill of their mother in front of them. You don't know what they know. These were little mixed children, but Black kids are different. They are different. And so it was like a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and like an 18-month-old. So the other two had they had laid them in beds and they were going to sleep. And then the little 18-month-old was just starving. And so they had given him he had eaten 2 packs of Pop-Tarts. They had given him 3 hot dogs. He had 2 of those little cartons of milk. He was just starving. He was just eating, right? And they was like, that's a shame. Their mother needs to be put in jail. And they were just talking recklessly in front of this 18-month-old child. And the nursing aide, who's Black like I am, was like, you shouldn't do that. Don't do that. Because, kids, they still love their mom. No matter what, kids are going to love their mom, and you shouldn't be the one to taint their view, because we don't even know the whole story. We just have the word of what the uncle said, right? Stories, yeah, they're horrible. Yeah, we had CPS come in on that case too. It's horrible. And so they're talking and they just kind of rolled their eyes or whatever. So the uncle had to go do something. So he had left the kids there in the emergency room. And I worked overnight, so it was late at night. Well, when the uncle finally came back, they're thinking this little, I think it was either just over a year or close to 18 months. He was small for his age, the little boy was. When the uncle came back, honey, that baby could talk and understand and speak well. He was like, Uncle Jimmy, such and such, we're going home. Uncle Jimmy was talking clear as a bell. And I remember us kind of catching eyes, and she looked at them nurses and was like, see, now that little boy could tell everything y'all said, and you can lose your job behind that. He could tell every single word y'all said. He could repeat it all. Sorry about that. Yes, he could repeat every word. So I think people need to be respectful of children in those settings of what they know and don't know or understand. Just be very, very respectful in those settings. But yeah, back to the book. Let's see here. Then her mother felt that way also because the father didn't want her or didn't leave his wife. I wonder if she would have treated her different. I wonder too, so after being with this Black man that you so-called love, you just went totally racist. You just became unhinged to the point where you just hated your daughter. You just hated her and everything she represented, that. I guess that she looked like the dad. It was just crazy to me. It was just too far. I would just pull my baby closer. He don't want us. That's okay. I'm going to love you for both of us. Something. I just cannot believe how horrible that was. And I'm sure people had to be aware of it, and nobody said anything. As we saw with DeAndre, he was just being abused by the whole neighborhood. Just disgusting. Yes. I wonder if she would have treated her different. Maybe because she would have lost the respect of the father had she not. Treating his offspring any type of way, she may have. But if this woman clearly had a mental issue, maybe that would have shown up more, and he would have been more of a protector for his daughter. I don't know, because he left him high. John never checked on her or nothing. She never had any type of contact with the father, which is concerning as well. He just left her out in this world to fend for herself. He probably caught on a long time ago that something was wrong with the mom. It's just crazy. I just wanted to take all these little girls, take them home, or just, gosh, at least keep them from harm. Gosh, to be called jigaboo and N-words constantly. Her self-identity is just totally screwed up. And she looked like her mother. Remember, she had the red hair and the red freckles like her mother. And how many of y'all got the Audibles, the audio book? Did y'all check out that cover? Why didn't they use the same cover? Did y'all see that? Because I was like, who is this white woman on this cover? Me and Misha were talking earlier today, she hit me like, who was this white woman on the cover? I was like, let me see. Oh my gosh, you're right. Why did they do that? Why did they do that? That was crazy. Who was that supposed to be? Because Goldie, not Goldie, but Cha was mixed. Is it Cha or Red? Red was mixed, and Red had red hair. She wasn't blonde. Who was blonde? Was Goldie blonde? She was black. Her mama had dreads. Like, oh my gosh, why did they do that? Why didn't they just use the same cover? I was blown away. Like, this really blew me. But did y'all notice that all the ratings are 5 stars on this book? Yes, yes. I don't know why, but yes, the cover is different, and I haven't experienced it. Usually, the cover it may vary by like a shade of a color. Like on the audiobook, like instead of showing up bright red, it may show a little maroonish or pinkish or something, but it's essentially the same cover. But this one was a totally different thing. It had looked like a white woman on the cover. It was really strange. I don't understand why they did that. They did a good job as far as the reader. You didn't notice? Yeah, the cover art was totally off. They did a good job on the reader. Usually, I guess up until recently, before like years ago, when you would read like a black author on Audibles, it was read by like a white person trying to sound Southern or ethnic, and it didn't go over well for me. But now it sounded like this was a black woman narrating. It was really good. Right. Hoppo, who this white woman? It's hilarious. Yes. That was really weird. I didn't like that at all. The cover is beautiful. I don't understand why they didn't use that. It was appropriate. I don't know. But I'm definitely excited to read more of this book with y'all. And then next time we'll read more of the book. So we'll have more to dive into. Yes, and I will be coming back to read your guys' comments. So anything you want to address that we've read, put it in the comments of this video, and I'll address it next week. So be sure to do that. Things you want to point out or things you remembered or stuck out to you, do that. Let's discuss it. And that'll be the way I communicate with you. Yes. It was like, who is this? Is that Beyonce? Like, why they do that? But yes, it is a lot to unpack. It is. So bring those points to the comment section, y'all. Write it in the comment section so I can make my notes from whatever you all write, and we'll definitely unpack some of what we've already read as we dig into the next chapters. Do that. Oh, honey, yes, it does. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. And I'm still rereading for the first time, so a lot of things that I forgot are coming back to me. Woo! So good. So good. This is what they need to make a movie. This would be a good Lifetime movie. Make a good Lifetime movie. I just feel like in like Tyler Perry, I don't want no more them weird struggle love movies he be making. This is where he could pull material from, these type of books. There's so much material out here. Let me see a good visual with something like this. Something riveting. Something really, really good. You know? The last thing I saw that was really like eye-opening and jarring was like Precious. And I could only watch that movie one time. You know, I could not watch it twice. That was a lot for me. That was a lot. But it was still raw art, you know. It really was. It really was. But this could be a great movie. Really, really could. I'm waiting for this. And The Coldest Winter Ever. I don't know what old girl waiting on. I still can't bring myself to read the sequel. I just can't. And I found out another book on our list, The Teenage Love Affair, now has a sequel. Teenage Love Affair is so good. So good. Like this good, so good. And they have made a sequel, and the sequel has high ratings. I just found the sequel, and I have not read that. So I definitely want to read that too. But we got time. We got time to get into all of that, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. We're doing some big things. And if you all were here yesterday for the discussion that when Misha was here about the girl that owned the home and the boyfriend was paying the rent. She was the landlord, and our guest Omith could not make it. He got into town too late and crashed. His phone had died. He went to charge his phone and had passed out. He was unable to make it, but he is dying. He wants us to revisit the subject because he has his male perspective he wants to bring to the table. And he gave me some of his points. And I listened to him, and it was we had a many good discussion. I told him to save it for when we revisit it. If y'all would like to revisit it, let me know. Or we could bring him in on a whole nother conversation. We can do that as well. But I don't mind revisiting some of the same topics. If we can bring a new perspective to it and have a good discussion, I love it. I love it. You felt the way? You read Teenage Love Affair? I felt the way too. You read the sequel too? Girl. See, we be reading the same things. That is so funny. Teenage Love Affair is so good. It's another good one, y'all. It's good. My family got me freezing in here. Y'all see me with my little robe on. But I thought I should be comfortable tonight. Coming, I was like, we out here at midnight reading bedtime stories, basically. Let me be comfortable. Oh, my God. I can't wait. And I'm going to get the audibles. I wish I could just get on here and just play the audibles straight through for y'all. We just pause it and ooh and ah over it and stuff. Oh, my goodness. But anybody, y'all want me to drop the link? Y'all want to come up and say some things or discuss anything about the book? We'll do about 10 minutes of that. Let me see. All right, I dropped the link. Do y'all have the link? Do y'all see it? Let me make sure, because I don't know. I'm getting like a weird Twitch emoji. Okay, I see it. What? That sounds good, Tasha. Tasha's my friend. I know Taesha. I know her personally. Let's see. The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. Oh, wow. No, I haven't. That sounds good. That sounds right up my alley, being a preacher's daughter. Not just a preacher's daughter, but the pastor's daughter. Veronica, you read that too? Wow. Anybody coming up to talk? Come talk to me, y'all. I can tell some secrets too. Honey. Hot mess. Hot mess. Them church people. Good. Yes, yes. Oh, you just starting it? It's good. Did you get it from Amazon, Taesha? Because I will check for it. Let me know. I gotta write stuff down. You know your girl getting old. What was it again? I lost it. The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. Is it The Secret Lives or Lies? That is so funny too. I bet that's good. Taylor Books. That's up the street for me. I think. Is that a Taylor's Books? I think. Let me see. Let me check on Amazon. Let me check on Amazon right now. No, wrong thing. Wrong thing. Kindle. Mm. The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. Yes. By Taesha Filial. Yeah, Amazon Books is pretty big. They should have it. And it's $13.69. I'm trying to see if it's, I don't know if it's ebook or what. What is going on? Ah, you know what? I don't know what this, I can do it right here. Give me a second, y'all. Hmm. Now, if y'all hear somebody snoring, that is not me. That is my son that crawled in here and is snoring. Kids don't care what you're doing. They're just, okay. Oops. It's, mm. Why is it not pulling up? Oh, here it is. No, I can't find it. Here it is. Here it is. Oh, it's on Audibles too, y'all. Y'all see this? On Audibles. Great. So here it is. The Secret Life of Church Ladies, Taesha Filial, Janina Edwards. Okay. It's read by Janina Edwards. So we got the Audible book. Paperback is $16.99. On the Kindle, $13.69. Available instantly. You can get it delivered by Sunday. And if you want it used, it's a little bit cheaper. Not cheap enough for me to buy it used. I have to buy it new for $10. I buy it new. But I have a subscription, so I still got I still have credits. Let me see. That looks really good. You have see, I still got 3 credits. It's absolutely, oh yeah, and it's cheaper if you have Audibles. If you have a Kindle subscription, your Audible books are cheaper. If you just get Kindle subscription, then your Audible books are cheaper anyway than not having it. But with the Audible subscription, I of course get the credits. So that I love. Love, love, love. You like fantasy and thriller books too? I do too. I don't know about thriller too much, but I do like fantasy. I'm a scaredy cat. I don't do too much like scary stuff. Like I don't like ghosts and demons and stuff like that. Anything else I could probably do. Nakia, you have a Kindle? Yes, yes, yes. I love a Kindle. You can do so much with it. And it's great for kids to have. Great. But I guess if they have an iPad, they can do, now that they got the apps on everything, you really don't have to have a Kindle. I enjoy my Kindle because it is specific to book reading. So they kind of cater to people who read books. So I enjoy it. Let me see, how long is this book? Does it say? Yes, if you get the Kindle app and you get the subscription, you get the Audible book for usually $7.49. After you buy the Kindle book, then they'll discount the Audible to $7.49. So I wonder. See, this isn't on the in the Kindle book subscription I have. It's called Kindle Unlimited. But let's read the description. How did I get so many credits? You can well, mines are backed up because I get paper books, and so you get 1 credit per month. Every billing period, you get a new credit. And so I've had like paper books and stuff I was reading, so they just got backed up on me. But they also discount like every now and then. They'll pop up like when you use your credit or you're out of credits, they'll give you a discount and sell you like 3 credits for a reduced price as well. Yes, I love Kindle Unlimited. The fact that you can check out Kindle, it's a subscription-based service where you can take out, like, you're basically like borrowing from a library. You can check out 10 books at a time. And say you finish book 1 and you still got 9 others out, you can return book 1 and still grab a new book to equal your 10 out at one time. So you can do it how you want to. It's great. I love it. And then you don't have to have books on tops of shelves, shelves and shelves of books. They're always accessible, and they upgrade the Kindle every year. It does more and more. Like they added illustrations now, and some books have animated illustrations. It's getting great. Tons of free titles, tons and tons of free titles. Yes, and audible books too, and I have also an email. It's called Book Hub. If you subscribe to Book Hub through your email, they'll send you like Google Books or Amazon books, and some of them are Audibles with Audible attachments that are free as well. Because I used to go through BookBub through my email and click on a book that sounded interesting, and then when I opened my Kindle, it would show that it had the accompanying audiobook, and I would click on that, and the audiobook would be free as well. Or they'll be severely discounted to like 99 cents. You'll pay 99 cents for a book, and then you open it up and the Audible is there, and you can just download the Audible for free if it's free. But sometimes you do have to pay. They charge for those audiobooks because they have to pay someone to actually read that whole book. But it's really, really good. I enjoy it. It got my kids reading. I'm telling you, once they got their own Kindles and found material that they like to read, when they could see themselves in books or people that look like them or people they were familiar with, oh, they got onto it. So if anybody's having trouble getting their kids to read, I'm telling you what to do. Find what they're interested in. Find people that look like them and put them on. But the other side is to make them read, you're going to have to take them the other devices. You're going to have to turn off that TV during the day or in the evenings. Take them video games. You have to, give them a reason to pick up the book. And that means shutting down some of those screens. Definitely have to do that. Definitely. I saw that I was trying to get them reading, not with all these screens around and controllers and start putting that stuff up, they sure will. They will. Or sit down and just start reading out loud. Start the book. Or start your audibles. Play the audible out loud while you're cooking dinner and have them at the table while they're doing their homework or whatever it is, and start playing the book. A book that's appropriate, for their age, and see if they don't get hooked on. There's ways to do it. You just got to really try. That's all it really is. Put forth the effort. And your kids will pretty much do what you want them to do. As a mother, I found that true. And my oldest is 28. My youngest is 17. I'm going to tell you that. Kids, you can get them to do what you want to do without, you just can't give up. You have to be involved and right there with them. Don't leave them to their own devices and their own ramifications. I'm telling you, make it mandatory. Absolutely. Make it mandatory. Make it mandatory. Yes, because kids need that. They really do. And if you direct them, they'll follow. I just disagree. Like, kids, they so hard-headed, and I tell them to do this, but he won't get off take the game. Take the game. They're going to be mad for a day. Everything is an adjustment. Everything. When you start exercising, I was thinking about also coming on in the mornings, because sometimes I need that morning motivation too, just to get up in the morning, kind of meditate, say your prayers or whatever, but I need to get on a schedule with taking my vitamins. And I want to eat better. That's what I want to do. I want to eat better, which I'm not doing bad anymore. And I'm dropping some much needed, lose some weight just to get healthier. And like I said, I'm getting my groove back, and I want to look and feel good doing that. And so just getting healthier, get up in the morning, and maybe we can just give like a 10-minute live or 15-minute live encouragement for the day. Read some affirmations for your day, over your life for the day. I think that's just a good idea. And come if you want to or not, but it helps with accountability. Y'all keep me accountable. I know y'all were expecting me to be there. I can get up and I can do it. Same time every morning and take my vitamins and then start that affirmations and meditation. I usually burn a little sage or some Palo Santo and get to it. I like to start my day with a positive attitude, remove all the negative thoughts. That's what I like to do. But yeah, so it just helps with the level of accountability, for me. Yeah. I know, Tasha, you be up way early. I can't believe you even on here. Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We could do it together. Emotional grief and emotional eating, and I need to lose this quarantine. Honey, talk about it. And it's a lot of grief. It's a lot of sadness around. Isn't it weird how these stars all dropping from drug overdoses with this what is that stuff they put, fentanyl? This is really weird. I mean, really, really strange. Like, whew, we got to start healing our minds so so they don't have to need anything like that. Yes, iridescent, come in the mornings and we'll get together, all of us, and just put positive energy in the atmosphere. I'll find some good, like, I don't know, some meditations or something. There's some things on YouTube we can look through or whatever. Or if y'all got some ideas, or I could find an affirmation book. I think I have one that we could use. Get our water together. I had started with just a half a gallon, because a gallon of water is just a lot. Just knowing it's a gallon makes me not want to do it. But a half a gallon. I'm gonna start half a gallon and doing that. So what's a good time? What time y'all want to do it? Anytime's good for me, because I work from home. So my schedule is pretty free. I work when I want to, as long as I get the work done. So nice. And you know what? Twitch is even better for that, because with Twitch, we could play some inspirational music. Whatever y'all like, I could play some music. We could play music over there. And if y'all would go over to Twitch, find me on Twitch and subscribe. Yes, I'm on the East Coast. I'm on the East Coast, Eastern Standard Time. Yes. Yes. So, and maybe we could meet up on Twitch and do it. Yeah. I was going to do Crystal Light. So I tried the lemons and girl, it lasted a little while and I let some of the lemons go bad. So Crystal Light sounds like an alternative. You couldn't find me on Twitch? It's Taesha Renee 4 on Twitch. Yeah. Taesha Renee 4. You're at 5 Central, which means, is that 7 for us? Is that 2 hours? Y'all are 2 hours ahead of us? Learning to love myself? 6. Kelly Girl 71. Okay. So where are y'all? You goodness, that's 6 hours? Oh no, 6. You mean 6 o'clock for us? 1 hour behind. Right. Okay. That works. So it'll be 6 for us and 5 for you. Okay. 6 o'clock is good. So 6 a.m. Eastern Standard. Yeah, I really want to do it on Twitch because I like music. Music just starts your day good. And I'll just play like an inspirational channel or something like that. Ooh, Veronica, you're West Coast. So that means you are, what time would that be for you? Woo. Yeah. I'm live over there. Yeah. I'm live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch right now. 3 a.m. Good gracious. That's too early, Veronica. Woo. That's too early. You might have to do a replay. I hate that because I would love for us to all be on there sending that good energy at the same time. Gosh. 3 a.m. That's just too early. And ooh, you need that rest. Let's see. Maybe if that's still early. Even if we move it up, our 4 a.m. ain't no better. Girl, no, that's 3 a.m. Woo. Y'all want to do 8 or 9? Do y'all want to do 8 or 9 a.m.? I guess that's Eastern time. 8 or 9 Eastern, which means 7 for learning to love myself. And that would mean 5 for Veronica. Right? Is that right? Did I do that math right? Yes. Thank you, Nakia. Thank you. Yeah, and Twitch doesn't save my lives over there. I thought that was weird. I can't find my own live. I don't know if they're keeping them or what they do with them, but I couldn't find it. But I know it does play over there. But yeah, let's do it, y'all. So okay, you said what time? You're definitely up by then. So what, 8 o'clock here? So 8 o'clock Eastern. 7 o'clock. Sheesh. Y'all. Mm-hmm. 9 a.m. is good, so everybody can participate. Okay. Okay, we can do that. All right, 9 a.m. We'll stick with that and see how that works, and then adjust accordingly. How about that? We can be flexible. I can be flexible. I really can. Okay, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will get to it. That is good, y'all. This is how I think of community when I think of Black women, doing stuff for us, not being bogged down with the weight of everybody else's woes. Just taking care of us sometimes. I hope it don't hurt their feelings, Lord. You already know. Okay, good. All right. So I'm going to get the music going. All right, so over on Twitch, we're going to do this on Twitch so we can get the music playing. I just like to make notes to myself, y'all. All right. So thank you all for coming tonight. And next week, Amisha is so upset that she can't be here to this because she is enjoying this. Do y'all want to stick with Thursday nights into Friday, or do y'all want to change it from Friday going into Saturday, or Saturdays in the evenings? What y'all want to do? Because I like midnights. I tell y'all what, just let me know in the comments. Well, I'm going to start in the morning because it'll be 9 a.m. for me. That's plenty of time for me. I'm going to start in 9 o'clock in the morning with some inspirational music, some affirmations and just chit chat in the morning, or maybe something I heard on the radio earlier and we could just talk a little bit with the music going. Whatever we want. 9 a.m. on Twitch. Yes, I will meet y'all there at 9 a.m. We're going to start our day with good energy. We're going to be so full of good energy. All the demons just going to bounce off of us as we walk through our day. As you walk through work, not affected. All right. So let me know in the comments. Any alterations you want to change the day? Because if Thursday is, because I was always worried about people working Friday mornings and things like that. Or if you like it the way it is, we can keep it the way it is. Just let me know in the comments. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe, convince other people to join our reading book club, and come put some input with us. And next time, one of y'all can come up here and discuss the book with me. We can laugh, we can cry, we can all of it. Have a good time on here, okay? So I will see some of you on Twitch at 9 o'clock in the morning. We get our inspiration for the day. And of course, I got that other project coming up. I'm working on that with some doulas. It's turning out to be very, very good, y'all. It's turning out to be very, very good. So I can't wait to do that. I just want to be very respectful of how I do it because 2 of the young ladies have lost babies that will be coming on and telling their stories. So how I do it, I don't want to do it as informal as this, but I want it to be a comfortable setting, and I want it to be very respectful because that show will be dedicated to those babies. Okay. So thank you all for being here. Y'all have a good night. Get rested. Drink some water before you go to bed. 8 ounces of water helps reduce the chance of heart attack. Just a good thing to do. At the end of the night, drink you a good glass of water, and I will see y'all in the morning on Twitch. Thank you for being here. Bye, y'all.